Hey everyone, this is NHL News Reports. Hope you enjoy your day today. In this video, today we're doing our early predictions of the 2021 mock draft. Yes, we are. We're back with another week. Last week I did one, and guess what? I said it's not going to be my last one. And this one's not going to be my last one either. Because we keep changing things up, don't we? We keep changing and changing and changing them as many ways we can. Different ways players can go. I inserted some new ones into this list. I took some out. So I hope you enjoy this list. And it should be a lot of fun. And next week, I will keep changing more of it. I will. And then a couple of days before the draft, I'll have my final mock draft. Say this is exactly what I think is going to happen. And of course, it's going to be wrong still. But whatever. It's literally going to be like that. We all know that. So let's start off with the draft. Here we go, my mock draft. And we know it's going to be a little bit longer video, so make sure you like and subscribe and stick with me and what I think these players will go on here. I thought about this for a while. So here we go. Shall we get started? Now, number one, it hasn't changed from last week. Excuse me there. And that is Owen Powell. He's going to go to the Buffalo Sabres. You know, he's the big Canadian defenseman from Michigan University. He is your guy. And it's looking like he can go back to Michigan next year, which, is that a bad idea? Not too bad. I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. You know, you think of the Sabres, where will they be next year? I don't know. In the standings, who knows? Last year, maybe contending for we thought in the predictions of maybe contending for a playoff spot. We were wrong. Some think that, some didn't think that. But Owen Powell, yeah, I don't see the problem with him not going back to Michigan. I think it would kind of be a good idea for his development and all of that. Absolutely. Next one we got is, yes, from Massachusetts. We have Matt Beniers. Now, Matt Beniers is that kind of that Bo Horvat leadership guy. And you know what? Your expansion team, you're a new team in the league. You don't know any of the players you have so far. The draft is going to become an expansion draft and the regular draft, the entry draft. And having you able to draft someone, a center, it's going to be great. And that's what the Kraken are able to do. They're able to go draft someone. Yes, go draft someone right out the first year for the team. We'll see if he plays next year. I don't know if he does. I'm sure he does, but we'll see. But Matt Beniers will be a perfect fit with the Seattle Kraken, and that's exactly what you need. You think of, teams that, oh, I need a center, oh, I need all this stuff, but you find out, oh, man, they didn't draft it, they tried to trade for one, it didn't work out, they have a massive contract on their hands. You think of that, and you're like, oh, what would have been the better idea? By drafting a center. And, Seattle's going to have a fantastic option in doing that, for sure. Going on to number 3, these 3 have not changed. Simone Evertson to the Ducks. And I think this is a fantastic pick. You have a left shot defenseman in Evertson. Your right shot defenseman in Jamie Drysdale, which you have. He's a great player, Jamie Drysdale. You have, and that'll be a fantastic duo. I mean, not duo, but great, fantastic duo or pairing on the defense, for the many years to come. And Evertson could be a very solid puck move, or just a solid defenseman. You have him, and then you have the shot from the point. The right shot from the point with Jamie Drysdale, and then down the middle you have his Trevor Zegras and other guys that we'll see if they can turn into good players for not for Montreal, sorry, for the Anaheim Ducks, absolutely. And you know what? That might be a great idea. And we'll see how that goes. Everton would be just a great pick, absolutely, for the Anaheim Ducks. Going on to number 4. Brandt Clark. I have Brandt Clark this time. Before it was Luke Hughes. Now I have Brandt Clark. Brandt Clark is also, like Jamie Drysdale, a right shot defenseman. And one thing interesting about him this year is that he was supposed to go to the OHL, but the OHL didn't start. And go the whole COVID thing and have that and delayed. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to Slovakia. He goes to Slovakia, and guess who he plays with? Men. He goes to play with men, and guess what? He plays pretty well with men. And I'm looking where he could go. 8th, through 4, he might be, if he didn't go to Slovakia, he might be in the top 10, 15 if he didn't go there. Because we saw some good stuff by Brand Clark. You know, if he can play well against men right now, with his age, 18 years old, he should be a pretty good defenseman in the NHL. He should be a really solid top 4 defenseman. And the Devils could use a defenseman. And I really feel in general the Devils will pick a defenseman. It just feels like they will. And you know, I just feel like if it's, you know, Hughes or it's if it's Hughes or it's Clark, we'll see. But I feel like they will pick a defenseman. Next one, number 5, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I have him picking Dylan Gunther, and he has a great shot. I was reading about Dylan Gunther today in the Hockey News. They were comparing 2 players, William Eklund and Dylan Gunther. Now, one's from Sweden, Eklund, and one's from Canada, Gunther. But overall, they said Eklund's the better player, but Dylan Gunther has more offensive capabilities over William Eklund. And, you know, he's a great left winger. And, you know, Dylan Gunther's a great left winger. He can score, he can do a lot of things. That's one thing he had an edge over Eklund. But Eklund's more of an overall rounded, you know, player. That's, you know, what I mean. But the Blue Jackets Dylan Gunther would be a great pick. You know, where do you start? Most likely going through a rebuild at this point, right? Do you get a winger? Do you get a center? Do you get a defenseman? Should you have a goalie? And getting Gunther in your first year you rebuild, if you're looking at 2022, 2023 being stacked drafts, why not? Absolutely, why not? So we'll see how things go, but that would be an absolute fantastic pick. Absolutely. Next one for the Red Wings. Last one I had is Jesper Wallstedt. This time I have is William Eklund. Talking about William Eklund, I already did, but really this overall a really solid center. And he's a Swedish center. He had like 23 points in 40 games in SHL. And we know what Stevie Y likes. He likes the SHL. He likes players from Sweden. And you know, this might be just the guy he wants. And Eklund just might be that guy. You think of Raymond in the SHL, you think of Saito in the DEL. You know, guys like that. He loves guys like that. And absolutely, Eklund would be a awesome fit for the Red Wings. So they could use a center, a defenseman, a goalie, either or, all those, but mostly it's goalie or center. And getting Eklund would be a perfect fit for the Detroit Red Wings. Absolutely. And they could use him. They could really use him. So, let's go on to number 7. Not Detroit, but the San Jose Sharks and Ken Johnson. Now, Ken Johnson, we talked about, he's from Michigan. I don't know, is he committed to Michigan next year? Even if he is or not, yes, he's playing right now in Michigan, but he probably plays another year or 2 in Michigan. But you know, the Sharks need to continue the rebuild. They didn't have a top 10 pick in the draft last year because the Ottawa Senators had it because of the Eric Carlson trade. So finally, he gets someone here. The Ozzy Wiesblatt last year, the whole Bucky Goodrow Lightning get the first round pick to the Sharks. Finally get a top 10 pick here. And number 7, you know, they're going to get a good player here. And even 2022 and 2023, you know, if they really want to get this team, you know, in the future back where it needs to be, those 2 drafts need to really absolutely utilize what they can. But Ken Johnson, is he going to be a center? I don't know if he's going to be a center. But Ringo definitely has some offensive upside. It's just not because he can't win faceoffs, just the smarts. You know, he just doesn't have much smarts, you know, down the middle. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Ken Johnson's a really interesting one. That one can go anywhere. You know, depending on where people have him on the list. But let's go on to number 8, the Los Angeles Kings. And I have Jesper Wallstedt. Now, Jesper Wallstedt would be a perfect fit. The Kings have great center depth. They don't need an Eklund. They don't need a Ken Johnson. Well, I guess you could move Johnson in the wing. Yeah, you know what I mean. But they don't need centers. That's That's always a good problem, not have always enough centers, right? But they could use a goalie at this point, or a defenseman. And Wallstad would be a perfect fit for them. They need that goalie. They have some guys, I think Park or something like that, how you say his name, Patella, Rene Peterson. Quick is, he's your old guy, from 2012 2014. 35-year-old, great career, absolutely, but he's not the future. He really isn't. 2 years left with the Kings for Jonathan Quick, and we'll see what happens. But, they need a goalie, and they're doing a really good job. After this year, they really want to get out of that rebuilding and contend for a playoff spot. And that's exactly what the Kings want. They want to contend for a playoff spot. So we'll see how things, change here, but we'll see. Next is the Vancouver Canucks, and I got Luke Hughes. Now, Luke Hughes is a puck-moving guy. I was reading about him too again today. Not very good defensively, but offensively, his puck-moving skills, kind of like Quinn. He was a very good puck-moving guy. Playmaker from the point. I think definitely want to put Luke and Quinn together on a pairing. Maybe on the power play. But except that, you want to do, 5-on-5 because you need someone to help him with the defensive errors. But Luke Hughes is committed for Michigan next year, so hopefully, he hasn't played in the NCAA this last year. He played in the National Development Program, like what Jack Hughes played in the U18 tournament, under 18 tournament there. So he hasn't played in the college yet. He hasn't played in NCAA. I can see him drop. And if he drops from the Devils, I don't see the Blue Jackets. I don't see maybe the Red Wings. But if Eklund's available, I think the Red Wings definitely go for Eklund. Sharks, the Kings, maybe the Kings. But I'm going to put him with the Canucks. I think that's a great pick, for sure. I have a funny thing to show you in the next one. Last video I did, I had McTavish going to the Canucks. Well, guess what? He's going to the Sens this time. Because I had the Canucks stealing McTavish. Yes, stealing McTavish from the Ottawa Senators from them picking him. But I have him picking McTavish this time. McTavish, just a wonderful, he's like a Tom Wilson. He's that type of guy. And you know what? He plays down the middle. You could have Kachuk, McTavish, Batherson, and then you could have like Stutzler, Norris, and Connor Brown. I don't know how long Connor Brown's going to be there for. Or like Formanton or something. It's just like, you have like, if they get McTavish, that would just be lights out. And the Ottawa Senators have such a good chance here. Even if they don't go McTavish, they can go for Lucius, they can go for Sillinger, they can go for some great players at number 10. Absolutely. Of course, number 11, the Eels and the Coyotes, that's nothing but their fault, isn't it? But let's go on to the Chicago Blackhawks. And I have the Chicago Blackhawks picking Chaz Lucius. Now, Chaz Lucius is a great center. Chaz Lucius was injured for most of the year, but when he came back, he was lights out. And he really started to get some traction. Now, finally, in the draft standings after finding, oh yeah, he's a great player. Oh, he has an injury. Well, what are you going to do about that? Oh, by the way, everyone, he's doing better. He's back, and he's playing lights out. And that's exactly what Chaz Lucius is doing, playing lights out. And definitely the Blackhawks could use a Chaz Lucius. And they would love to have a Chaz Lucius on their team, but he is committed to the Minnesota University next year, which I don't blame. That's fine. Give another year because of his injury. Kind of do things that he hasn't done from last year that he would do next year. Just a makeup, you know what I mean? Going on to now, the next one, and that's the Calgary Flames. I have Fabian Lysell. Fabian Lysell is a Swedish winger. Very good. He may be a solid winger for them in the future. And, he could be a good part of the core. The Flames need to change up the core. They absolutely do. The Johnny Gaudreau, Lindholm, you keep Matthew Tkachuk. You keep him too. Mollahan. You got some guys here. Giordano. you know, things gotta change, and maybe Lysell in the future could be one of those guys. I don't know if he will be. You know, it's really he had to play in the SHL a little, couple points there, but you know that's good. Starting the SHL, see what we can do next year. Remember, the SHL is more of a defensive league, so you won't see tons of points. You know, if you're like in the NCAA, you won't see a point per game for those types of guys because it's more of a defensively league. So that's how things have worked in the SHL. Now, let's go on to next one. Yes, the next one, and that is the Philadelphia Flyers. And I have them picking Lambos. Yes, Lambos. And that's Carson Lambos. And he is a great defenseman. Really good. And that's exactly what the Flyers need. They need some defense. They have Cam York. Probably next year he plays. Lambos, a year or two he can start to play. Add more down that to the defense. And last year did not cut it for defense. You know, you had different ones. Justin Braun, you missed Diskinen. Provo didn't have a very good year. Provorov there. Sandheim was okay. Phil Myers was okay. Just things in, and having a lamppost in the future in the back of your mind is great to know that. And having also Cam York next year, right? So we'll see how things go, but definitely Lamppost would be a great pick for the Flyers, and they can really use him. That or Seno. Absolutely. And let's see if the Flyers can bounce back next year, where it really looks like they would. I have a really interesting one for next one here. I wonder if you're going to like this one. I didn't add it from last week, but I'm going to do it this week. And that is Otto Ratty to the Dallas Stars. Who thinks that's a good one? Does he go 15th overall? Does he drop? How far does he drop? Otto Ratty. He was supposed to be potential number one. He dropped, hasn't he? Should the Stars take a be like, hey, we'll take him. We'll see if we can make him into something. Do you think they should? Do you think Otto Ratty should go to the Dallas Stars? Or do you think they should just let him fall? What do you think? Like, literally, he didn't play in the World Juniors last year because he wasn't good enough. You know, he lost it. He just wasn't good enough. You know, so we'll see 6 points in 35 games in the league. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I don't know. Do you want to take that hot take there? That's an interesting one, isn't it? And the last, but not least, the New York Rangers. And the New York Rangers, I have them picking Cumans, Cumans I really do like. He's a defenseman, and Corson Cumans, he is committed to Wisconsin next year, but I do like what he has done. He's a good defenseman. You have Brendan Schneider next year you could bring up if you want. You also have different guys. You have Neil Lindquist, you have Zach Jones, and if you can add Humans in the future, that would just be great. Really solidify that defense. You have some offense. You have Capo Caco. You have Lafreniere. You got some great guys. So keep adding to that defense. It's great they have the goalie in Sisterkin. So, they're pretty solid here at this point. And I think humans in the future just having the back of their minds. It's a good one for sure. Absolutely. So, we'll see how things turn out. But this is what it is. Let me just review what we have. We have number 1, Buffalo Sabres select Owen Pavel. Number 2, Seattle Kraken select Matt Benios. Number 3, the Ducks select Simone Evertson. Number 4, the Ducks select Brant Clark. Number 5, the Blue Jackets select Dylan Guenther. Number 6, the Detroit Red Wings select William Eklund. Number 7, the Sharks select Kent Johnson. Number 8, the Kings select Jesper Wallstedt. Number 9, the Canucks select Luke Hughes. And number 10 is Ottawa Senators, and they pick Mason McTavish. Number 11 for the Coyotes, forfeited. Number 12, Blackhawks select Chaz Lucius. Number 13, the Flames select Fabian Lysell. Number 14, the Flyers select Carson Lambos. Number 15, Dallas Stars select Otto Ratty. And number 16, the New York Rangers, and they have Corson Cummins there. So that's what we have. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Next week, we're going to keep changing things up. Maybe some big changes in the top 3. Maybe. Okay? We might have some big changes in that top 3. I might do. I want to change it up. Make some hot takes. You got to. You got to change as much as you want. Because, you might be, I think this guy's going here, and that's all he's going to go. And you go to the draft, you're like, oh, so that's how it turned out. So why not do the hot takes now? So we'll see how that goes, alright? Next week we'll be back with another mock draft. See you next video. Bye.